Welcome back to Backroom Talk. This season, we're bringing you behind-the-scenes conversations with awesome coaches having a major impact on the fitness industry. I'm your host, Candace Dixon, CMO of OPEX and CoachRx. In this episode, I sit down with Kyle Lampi as he shares his journey from active outdoor kid to thriving fitness coach. Kyle dives into how his father instilled the importance of daily movement and how life's challenges have shaped his mission to create fitness solutions that work for real people in real situations. He walks us through the power of self-reflection in coaching, the importance of keeping to simple principles, and why listening to clients is more important than having all the answers. What really shines through is his emphasis on making small and impactful changes that align with each client's personal aspirations and lifestyle. Whether you're a career coach or thinking about coaching as your next move, this episode is packed with insights that you can put into action right away. All right, let's jump into my chat with Kyle. Welcome to the podcast.
Yes, hello.
How was your day?
It's been great. It's a nice typical Tuesday for me. Got a couple clients in the morning, then I get to work out. And then after this, I'm going to go take the dog on a nice long walk and let her sniff around.
Amazing. You're in California?
Yeah, I'm in Glendale.
Okay. So it's still early in the day for you. You've gotten a lot done already.
Yeah, it's 10:03. Yeah.
Amazing. And how are you anywhere near the fires? Are you okay from all that?
I had to evacuate. It was really close to me, so I just it's amazing when you're forced to decide what is truly important in your life, how quickly and the things that you thought were important really aren't. And then I was actually shocked by the things that were important to me that I took and just got in the car, took the dog, and I was out of here. I drove to Vegas.
Gosh, is there anything you can share what those items were outside of the dog?
Yeah, it was interesting. Like I took my hard drives that have my life's work of music on there, anything I've ever recorded or made, and I took I have this, I call it the oh shit bag. It has like a bunch of stuff in there for survival. And I was like, I guess that's it. What else do I care about?
Is that because you camp or hike, or what's the oh shit bag? How did you have it prepared?
I have it because society can fall apart real quick, real fast. If COVID taught us anything, it was insane how people got over toilet paper. And so in the event that something like that happens, like this, a catastrophic event, like already going to get gas was a scary feeling. People were screaming and the pumps were running out of gas. And I was like, this is just happening and this is just gas. What's going to happen with food and water? So I have a bag that's ready to have me survive it for a while if I need to. Just in case, why not? You know, it's like wearing a seatbelt. You don't hope to get in a car accident, but you're glad you have it on when you do.
Yeah. Not full prepper mode, but like good amount of supplies.
Yeah. It's just like, weapons, fire starters, canned foods, those things.
The essentials. Yeah. I love this idea. Every time something like this happens, I always think I need to do that and have not done it. So I'll get motivated now that you did it.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, this is honestly just a super casual conversation about how awesome you are.
Well, I hope we uncover that, because that sometimes when I'm here alone programming on this 13-inch screen, I go, what am I doing? Yeah.
So I guess let's start from the beginning. Like, what got you involved in fitness or inspired to take on fitness personally? And then how did that evolve into you becoming a coach?
Yeah, it's a long story, obviously like everyone's, but I have recently realized that my fitness journey started when I was a kid. My dad, I think the greatest gift my dad has left me and like his legacy for me is going to be the importance of just daily movement in your life and doing things even when you don't want to do them. Those are like the two biggest lessons my dad taught me, and it's really shaped me who I am today. I didn't have like a sport dad. He wasn't like was screaming at the television playing sports. It was more like, hey, let's do stuff. Let's go play baseball together. Let's play street hockey. Let's do karate. Let's get dirt bikes. Let's go camping. It was always outside and movement of the body, but it was never like, you need to work out because of this, this, and this. It was just like, life is about movement. You're just going to, it was fun. So when I went to college, I stopped doing that. Just because I didn't realize I was never in my mind, I was never doing fitness. I was just living. So in college, my lifestyle changed, and I remember coming back to from home for the first time, and yeah, I know he didn't mean this. My dad's my hero, as a little boy, just doing something. I know he didn't mean this, but he's like, "Wow, Kyle, you've really changed." Like, when I know what he meant, I had gained a lot of weight. Like I wasn't feeling good, and I didn't know why. I was like low energy, and I was like, I guess it's just what happens when you're in your 20s. It's just so funny to think. Um, and then I realized, oh, it's because I stopped moving. So I that's when I got serious about lifting weights, was like early in my 20s. And then that turned into me just like going to a normal gym, lifting weights. And then I was driving down the street one day, and there were a bunch of these really big, huge dudes throwing barbells over their heads in a parking lot because I had just moved. And I said, "What is that? That looks crazy." And I pulled into the parking lot, and without asking any questions, I just went to the front desk and said, "Hey, sign me up for this. What is this?" It was CrossFit. Um, and this was like back in 2012, I think. So it was like no AC. Sometimes you come in and have to shave ice off the barbells because it's freezing cold in Tennessee. And it was just hard. And I loved it. It was like, oh, this is that feeling of, I don't want to do this, but I'm going to do it anyways. Like, I didn't want to wake up on Saturday mornings, but we went to karate every Saturday morning. Didn't matter what I wanted to do. We did it. And it was kind of like hit that little button in my head. It's like, oh, this is what I'm used to. And then that progressed, and then I was approached by the owner of the gym if I wanted to coach classes, which I never thought about doing. And then I went through that whole thing, got the L1, the L2, all the certs. And then the guy who owned the gym, kind of changed the course of my life because he found OPEX, like back like version 1, where he had to read books and do like 10-page papers. I remember him being like, I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, I gotta write this paper for this fitness thing. I was like, for fitness? Wow, it's interesting. Because I was used to the weekend course, right? Like, oh, it's easy. You just get a weekend course. And then he finishes OPEX CCP, and things started to change at the gym. And then he offered that to me. He was like, hey, man, like, I want to kind of involve this in the gym. If you want to go this route, I'll help you. And this is kind of what's possible. And it was ironically enough around the time where I was starting to question my own methodology of fitness. Like, how come, like, yeah, I look the part, but how come I never have energy still? And how come my knees and shoulders always hurt? And like, why am I getting sick all the time? I should be healthy. And I was going too hard, too much. And I was under eating. I didn't know, under fueling. And I was looking at other people in the gym. It's like, how come people, their bodies don't change and they don't see the results they want, but they come 5 days a week? And like, why are we doing things that not everyone can do all the time? And I started to like kind of open that up. And then when I started taking OPEX, I was like, oh, this makes sense. Like, everyone's different. Everyone needs different things. And it's not just about participation all the time. And that kind of blew my mind open. And then got my CCP during COVID, which was interesting. And that was it. And I started doing this thing.
Did you stay coaching one-to-one in the gym for a while, or are you still? And then like how, because you do remote now as well, right? How did that transition?
Yeah. So the gym that I started CrossFit in, during COVID, we obviously had to shut down, and we used it as an opportunity to completely switch. We're like, all right, we're going to turn this into a hybrid model where it's like, yeah, we'll have classes, but we're going to offer this one-on-one CCP kind of coaching. And that went well for a while. And then I had to move to LA. So I moved to LA, and I did the same thing. I searched for a gym that had a space that, yeah, they taught classes, but they were interested in me bringing this service to the gym. Like, hey, you ever thought about having like an all-inclusive service if members want more? And so I headed that. It's actually the same gym that Erwin works out of. Erwin and I see each other all the time. Yeah. Which is really cool. Um, yeah, so I still see clients out of there. And then I work out of a fancy gym in West Hollywood that is like, imagine if you gave like a sultan a blank check and said, build the gym of your dreams. It's like, marble walls. It's insane. Um, but I do that methodology there as well with clients one-on-one, which is interesting. because we have all the gadgets and toys available to us, which is fun. Yeah, and then I have a remote coaching business that I see obviously people remote. So it's a little bit hybrid. It's in person and remote.
Amazing. So I know you have a tight group of other coaches that you often connect with, and you
Yeah,
guys jam on stuff, knowledge share. I'm sure there's like personal friendship time and like collaborative
yeah.
work growth time. But how did you all connect? Were you all in the same cohort, or did it just happen that through CCP somehow you connected?
So Clelia, one of the coaches, her and I actually came to that same gym in Tennessee. We went through OPEX kind of together. She went first and I was next in line. So we had that camaraderie. And then we just knew of Brandon through the cohort calls. Like he'd always be like doing funny things. And Clelia reached out to him first about this idea. And I was brought in later when I moved to California, like, hey, do you want to hop on these coaching calls? And then it was just this weekly thing. Every Wednesday, we hop on, we pick something we want to discuss, whether it's AI or coaching relationships or things like we'd even do case studies. Be like, all right, Kyle, you're next week. Bring in a client that you're having an issue with. So we'd screen share like our programming, like I'm having an issue here, and we'd see things or like, hey, what do you do for this issue with like a bending? Oh, that's a really cool concept or option that I never thought of. It's like a think tank. It's really awesome.
So cool. How many coaches are joining now?
We had 5 at one time, and then we went down to 4. And then recently we had one of our friends that's in there moved to Texas. He's working with Central Athlete in Texas, in Austin.
Dustin,
So
right?
yeah. So that's been kind of hard to find times now. So now it's more of like a, hey, let's plan it and let's do the call kind of thing.
Gosh, I
Um,
love that so much.
yeah, it's awesome to connect, and it feels good to, because I don't know if you feel this way sometimes, but I feel alone in this world a lot, especially like in the fancy gym. It's just like your normal. Like I hear it all the time in the break room. Oh, my client's here. Like I don't know what I'm gonna do with them today. Maybe I'll just like find something online. Like there's a lot of
Gosh,
like, there's a
that
lot
makes me
of
sad.
Yeah, there's a lot of like what you would expect, like normal or they give their clients like, I'll see them, they'll do the same workout with every single person every day. You know what I mean? Or like they have 5 people in a row, all those 5 people get the same workout. So sometimes when I talk about fitness, I get like the deer in the headlight look, like, why do you care about this so much? Or like, what do you but that doesn't why, you know? So it's nice to have that group to come to and and talk about those frustrations with someone who understands. It's nice.
Yeah, and everyone's at like different phases of like not only their career and like life, but also like what they want to achieve, right? Like, because Brandon's like owning, operating the gym, training the coaches underneath him. Other coaches are transitioning to new gyms and new locations. Some are probably both. Like Clelia does stuff out of her home
Mhm.
that she built a home facility, also new mom, and then does remote. So
Right.
yeah, it's cool because everyone has such a vast array of experiences to share. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very interesting.
When it comes to knowledge, so you did obviously all the CrossFit levels and then OPEX and any other education endeavors that have been like interesting, eye-opening across the board?
Yeah. I mean, I think one of my favorite things about OPEX is the constant drive for knowledge, and knowledge even outside of your scope. Learning, it's, I think Sam said it one time, like when you become like a master of something, you see that in all things. Like the path to knowledge all converges eventually. No matter what you're learning, you want to learn how to better knife skills, you can approach that with your coaching. It's just the mastery of things, no matter what it is the same path. So I think always learning new things is essential. So, like for instance, I miss martial arts. I was in karate from like 5 to 18. I haven't done it since I was 18 years old. I got into like weightlifting, and I'm like, you know what? It would be nice to have like a Zen art form back in my life. And now let's use the strength and flexibility that I built and let's put it to use instead of just hitting PRs or, like doing burpees. Like, what? Let's go see what it's like to use that. So I think I just want to experiment. I think for the next like 3 months, I want to try jujitsu. What's it like to put that force on someone else and learn something new? I've been very, very curious about psychology. I always have. I'm thinking about possibly going back to school and getting my therapy license and putting that into my practice with fitness because I
You
mean, the
mentioned that
brain.
on our ambassador call, and I thought it was
Yeah,
so insightful.
yeah, because I get stuck because I find I can't help but go there with clients, especially my in-person clients, because we see each other 4 or 5 times a week. And it's like I hear about their struggles with their lives and their, whatever their spouses or work. And it's, I can give them advice, but I can't wait. All right, let's sit down and let's triage this. Let's figure out like what's going on. I wish I want to go there with people because that's what they need. The reason why their body doesn't change and they're always inflamed, they don't sleep, is has nothing to do with the foods they're eating and because they're eating well and they're hydrating. It's like your life's in shambles. We got to get this in order. This is the problem. Who cares about your back squats and your protein intake? Figure this out. Why is little you so hurt? Let's get in there?
Yeah. Are
Yeah.
you, because I'm sure you're doing monthly consults with most of your clients as well. Do you guys kind of like dabble into that space, but stay adjacent to the fitness stuff? Or how do you handle
Do
that now in consults?
we stay adjacent to it, but I ask them what's going on in their life, and I try to connect those dots of like, you know, maybe your wind down routine's great, but I think the reason why you're waking up multiple times in life is you hate your job and you don't feel seen or appreciated there. And so you ruminate at night. Of course, you're not going to sleep well. Your cortisol levels are through the roof. Maybe I can't tell you what to do, but maybe we start to put some steps into like setting boundaries at work, or maybe this isn't the career for you. Maybe there's something you would rather do. Maybe explore that. And that's kind of where I leave it. I can't like, so what was your upbringing like? I can't get it there, you know, not yet,
Yeah.
but I would like to because that stuff matters. It really does. Like how you know this because you're in the fitness world, but there's a huge tie-in to when we talk about your why with fitness. Like I'll be completely honest. One of the reasons why I wanted to get really strong is because when I was a little kid, I felt helpless a lot. I got bullied. I got like, I got a swirly, like a 80s movie. Like I got put into a toilet by a
One,
bunch
two.
of kids. Yeah,
I mean, we're around the same age, so I think that's probably like a
right.
generational thing for us. But
And I was like, never again will I be that. And to me, being strong and being able to lift more and more weight, even though it's not true, it makes me feel like I am substantial and that I can do hard things. And if people want to give me a swirly, good luck. You know what I mean?
yeah, try.
Yeah. Yeah. Like that, even though it may not be true, they may be, there's always someone bigger and badder than you, but that I feel more confident in myself because of fitness. And that's the reason why I do it. But that right there, that's the deepest why, right? Like, why do I continue to lift weights? Because I want to feel capable.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh, I love that. So how many years have you been coaching now?
Um, all in all, like over 10 years now, but with OPEX going on 5.
What do you feel like are like the biggest changes or transitions from like year one or two to year 10 in just the way you approach coaching?
Sure. Year one was like taking 20 minutes to design a week of programming for a client because I want it to be perfect. It's like, am I hitting all the priorities? Did I even assess this right? I don't know why did I even do that assessment? Is this going to be the right program for them, right? And trying to and each week making it as something new and not like copying, pasting, and progressing. Like I was like, how does anyone do this? This takes forever. So that was like really getting in there and learning the flow of coaching, and then eventually that came into getting better at understanding like, oh, the fitness isn't everything. What about the lifestyle pieces and the consulting? Oh, this is where the coaching is. It's the connection. It's the getting the people to do the things. It's okay if everyone squats. It's okay if I write 15 squatting exercises for 15 different people in a week because we only have so many patterns to move, right? Everyone needs to squat. Cool. And then it got into, okay, now how do I build a business? Oh, interesting. Now that the coaching, I have that under my belt and I feel confident that I can make a program for anyone and it's not as dire as we think, like week to week. Like it doesn't need to be so special. And they've got their nutrition under control. Now it's like, oh, I'm a business owner. Oh, how do I get clients? Oh, that's the thing. Oh, we thought you thought you were a coach making A, B's, and C's. Well, guess what? AI can make A, B's, and C's faster than you can. What your actual job is selling yourself. Oh, I'm in sales. I didn't realize that I'm actually in sales, and I'm terrible at sales. That's the next hurdle. Is like, how do I sell myself now? Because I it was like the best thing and the worst thing for me to start in COVID, because people were itching for anything to take their mind off of sitting in their house. So I had clients after client. Oh, you can do this remote? Cool. I'll sign up. I was like, this is easy. You just like put your name out there and people want to work with you. Awesome. Then people started going outside and I started losing more and more clients. It's like, why am I losing clients? Oh, they can't afford it anymore. Oh, they want to try something else. That's fine. Uh-oh, why am I not getting new clients? There's a hole in this bucket. And then I suffered over that. I was like, is it me? I was like, oh no, dummy. You you just had enough people during a specific time in our history that it boded well with that, but you actually need to like go out there and sell yourself. So that's the biggest hurdle, I think, is becoming a salesperson,
I
essentially.
hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then just obviously like all the knowledge you've gained and the experience working with clients, like, I mean, you have a very mature approach. I feel like I say this to every OPEX coach that I talk to, but like I'm always just blown away at like the level, because there's levels to the game, and the level of professionalism and the way in which all the coaches in the OPEX community approach coaching, that like the commitment they have to like elevating the professionalism. It's so mature, and it's everything the industry needs. But
Mhm.
obviously you do that so well. Do you think
Thank
that
you.
that just comes You're welcome. Does that just come over time? Or, I mean, because how do you go from the trainers that are in the West Hollywood gym that don't really care? Do you
Right.
think it's intrinsic, like about the person, or do you think it's the commitment to mastery, or is it maturity personally? Like, what is it about some of those coaches that they're in here doing this thing, but like completely half-assed and without a care?
Right. Yeah. I think it goes, I think the seed is intention. I didn't get into this because I wanted like an easy job that was flexible and I could just make some money and get out of. I got into this because I understand the power of fitness through my entire life and what it can mean to everything outside of the gym. Um, when I see the coaches that are just like, well, what should I do with my clients? I guess I'll just give them whatever. Their intentions of coaching, that's not their thing. They're trying to be an actor or an influencer. That's where they put their bread and butter. They just need a job. So it's just a job to them, and that's okay. That's fine. Like everyone needs a job. Um, but our intentions are completely different. I'm trying to change people's lives. They need to pay rent.
Yeah. And they
So
also probably something internally about the how you do anything is how you do everything. Like, even if
exactly.
it's just a job, still do it well.
Here's a perfect example. The amount of energy that I put into being a coach and learning and trying to make this like this ecosystem that I'm building, they're putting that into their social media and their presence on social media. My presence on social media is I just asked ChatGPT to link with Canva and just make a bunch of shit. I honestly don't even care what it looks like. As long as it's a constant posting of something educational, awesome. That right there, the intentions. I don't have an intention to be a brand or like
It's
a
not your face on everything.
no,
It's
yeah.
just like you're just sharing the knowledge.
Yeah, so it just comes down to like what are you why are you your why? What are you doing here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. But speaking of that, I mean, you have definitely over, especially like since I'm saying like of what I've like paid attention to active in social media, like maybe the last 3 years, there's
Mhm.
definitely been a transition for you putting more effort there. Is it something that you said I'm not a salesperson, but you are, but are you starting to enjoy it? Do you find things about it that you can kind of connect to and get excited about? Or is it just like, okay, I need to do this, so I'm doing it? Because you also have the
Well,
podcast.
yeah. Um, do you remember at the last like 2 summits ago when I got up and when we were talking about I think it was the Rev, what's the Rev Fitness?
It rest.
Yeah, Fit Rev. I just had like an opposite approach to. social media and I was like, I hate it. I don't want to be a part of it. But it's like the devil, It's like I can't avoid this. I live in this world. I wish it was a different way, but instead of fighting this thing and putting so much energy against it, why don't I take advantage of it and use it to my benefit in the most hands-off, low barrier to entry that I possibly can. So I basically decided instead of trying to be like selling products and being like, to me, a clown on a platform that just farms your dopamine for money, I was like, all right, you go ahead and do that. I'm not going to give you my dopamine, but what I am going to use you for is your reach. And I'm going to turn my page into a place of education and little tidbits that people can take. And that's it. I just want to get, it's more of a give as opposed to like, come in here, let me sell you something. It's like, hey, eat protein. This is how you should do it. Go on your merry way. If you want to work with me, I'm here. That kind of thing. So I've kind of switched my brain about it. So yeah, it's like the devil, It's like, I
What
don't
is
like you, but
your
I'm going to use you. Yeah.
what is your marketing ecosystem slash funnel sort of look like outside of social media?
Yeah. So I built an email list that I make a weekly newsletter that just has it's that basically like hey, this is what we're talking about this month. I have an easy recipe that people can follow that's healthy, that gets people used to eating healthy things very easily. I talk about some sort of mindset or nutrition thing, and that's it. Just really simple. It's like, I like giving away free things. It's like, hey, here's like a 7-day body weight workout plan. Here's how to completely overhaul your fridge really easily with things that you don't have to cook. Some people don't like to cook. Those kind of things. I like to just I just want to educate. I want to give people the tools to change themselves, because this and everyone else that's in this ecosystem does. Fitness is very easy when it comes to what you need to do. It's the implementation of those things that is the hardest part. Like, it move your body, easy. Walk outside in the sunshine, easy. Drink water, easy. Eat foods that are healthy, easy. All of those things are hard for people because they're not in their life yet. So I'm trying to make this like speaking to my target audience, like their pain points, of course, but how do I make those pain points solvable and the easiest thing for them? Because like that's the society we live in. Everything needs to be easier. People don't do it
Yeah,
anymore.
I love how you simplify it too, because I think they're all it simplification is challenging, right? Because you have to
Mhm.
one know your shit, and then you have to be able to distill it down to something that everyone can connect to and understand and implement. But sometimes it's just those little nuggets that are like, oh man, I totally forgot that I could do that, or wow,
Yeah.
that's an interesting idea, and it's so easy, and I'll actually try to do it. But so okay, so you have the email newsletter, you have social. You also have the podcast. Are you still actively doing? I know you have the other podcast, which we can talk about, but
Yeah.
you have your own podcast too, right?
My own podcast, same idea. It's like, I'm going to do this because I like it, but I'm not going to stress myself out on like every week there needs to be an episode at this time. It's like, oh, if I have something I want to say, I'm going to use this podcast as an education platform for my clients. I get the same questions all the time from people. Instead of answering it, I just send them a link to the podcast. Like, hey, you want to know why protein's so important? I have a whole episode on it. That's like 20 minutes. Here's all the things you need to know, because I can't type this out over and over again. I'm go crazy. So I use it as like again, an educational tool for clients. And if other people want to listen and get something out of it, awesome. I don't care about making money off of it or like ads. I want to, it's kind of selfish for me. It's like, what are the tools that I can put out there that are going to mitigate having to answer things that take up my time, as opposed to let's bring my time
Efficiency.
to coaching. Yeah. Efficient. Yeah.
I love that. Are you using your storefront on CoachRx, or do you have a website too?
I'm building that right now, actually, my storefront, because I just had my website rebuilt because I've had a big handful of conversations with leads that when it gets down to it, pricing is an issue. I totally understand. Like, everyone makes different types of money here. And I'm realizing that these people get dumped back into my ecosystem with like the emails, and they follow me on Instagram, but they don't bite because it's too expensive for them. And I'm like, I'm going back to my why. Yes, I have a target audience. yes, I have to charge what I need to charge to feel like I'm doing something, right, and live. But at the same time, I got into this because I understand the power of this. How can I help people that want and that need fitness and but can't afford that? So I've using the storefront, I'm going to create a lower barrier of entry um
Program.
programs for them that are going to be well thought out. Of course, it's not going to be perfect, but I'm categorizing them by training age and what they want, and I'm making it very simple, low barrier. You know, they're going to get nutrition guidance, but it's not going to be bespoke like it is now. They're going to get lifestyle guidance. It all comes with that. So they can get them on the right path. And at the end of those, whatever they are, 16-week programs, there's a call to action. It's like, if you enjoyed this and you've noticed the power of this and you kind of see how important this is and you feel like you can move some things around to go to the full gamut, then reach out to me. If not, repeat this over and over again. I don't care. You paid for it, go for it. This is you. Like, you can do this until the cows come home, and you should. So I'm trying to get, how do I get these, because they're falling through the cracks and they need it. Like, how, instead of them going to like another template, I would rather them come to my template, of course, because I'm biased. But just because of the considerations of as OPEX does, you can still create a template that is a blanket program that is a smarter, more well thought out template that has great progression and considering, hey, a beginner most likely can't do this. Let's not have them do that. An intermediate most likely could. Let's have them do this, you know?
I love it. I mean, I think the one reason I was really a strong proponent for us putting both the evergreen and the fixed period programs capability in there was because it is such a powerful funnel, I think, for coaches who offer a one-to-one service, just because a lot of the industry still doesn't understand what the value you guys bring in the coaching
Hmm.
relationship and the high touch experience that is there. So if they can start to get a taste of it, if you decide to have comments on, even though it's a program where multiple people are entering it, you still could have direct one-to-one communication with them, whether that's just through a messaging interaction or commenting on one of their workouts. Like, you have that ability to get in there, sprinkle some love on them, and then
Yeah.
of course there's the ability that they might nurture up. But so I love that. And there's cool things that you could do too, especially if you already have this archive of assets you've created with the social posts or the podcast, or if you've done the same thing on YouTube over time. It's like you can link those videos, put a lifestyle prescription together and link those videos in. So there's like an education path that someone could flow down, right? Or
Yeah.
you have like the documents feature that you could put some PDFs in,
Hmm.
direct them towards that, and they can read like your nutrition fundamentals or your lifestyle
Right.
fundamentals or something like that. So yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of cool tools. I'm glad you're doing that.
Yeah. On a side note, because I've gone into the back end, and I know there's like a Loom video that goes over it. I don't know what the cost of this would be to create a Learn RX class of how to like really set up the back end of a store, or if there's other materials, because it is a little intimidating. You're like, ooh, I don't know.
Yeah.
This is
Well, you
gonna,
have to create the products and create
yeah,
the
yeah.
sales
I'm like,
pages and
ah!
create the storefront and
Yeah,
then connect it all. I'll send you a couple of webinars that we've done, like live builds on.
that'd be awesome.
So I'll send you those, and then I'll definitely make sure I update the key landing page on the website so that's a little bit more user friendly. I will say it's something we're going to get to hopefully at the end of the year is some updates to Business Suite. It was originally planned for us to do that this quarter on the roadmap.
Hmm.
We really pulled back. Oh, sorry, going into Q3. I'm already like thinking ahead, a month ahead, a quarter ahead
Yeah, yeah,
as marketing. But Q3 was when we were going to focus on Business Suite. We're kind of pulling back because we're big focus right now on Lifestyle V2. That's going to come out at the end of the quarter. And then I want us to pivot back to some things on the integration of lifestyle and program in the calendar, some features
hmm,
there, some cool things that we want to try to implement on the client app experience for like exercise swaps and
yeah, yeah.
some adjustment of like training days if the coach allows it. Obviously, with the wearables integration component, there'll be a lot of like things we want to work through. And then obviously with RX Spot, there's still a lot of love we want to give there. And so I don't want us to get so distracted with Business Suite that we don't get to the
Right,
core things first. So
right.
yeah,
Yeah,
but no, I want to do so much with Business Suite, including like just some cool integrations for everyone to be able to integrate to their email list and, you know,
that's so cool. Yeah, it's a really it's like the perfect coaching app.
No, I'm glad that you said that. So let's talk about technology in your practice.
Yeah.
How was that? Because you didn't start off using technology, I'd imagine, right? 10 years
No,
ago.
I was TrueCoach, obviously, because that's what was taught at
So
the
you,
end of.
you were using technology though from the beginning.
Oh yeah, with like out of CCP, like yeah, OPEX CCP. I was doing TrueCoach because that's in my
Even
cohort.
in the
That's
gym?
like at the gym I worked at. No, we used Wodify to post all the workouts for the people. But my personal clients, yeah, I was using TrueCoach because that's the only thing I
Yeah, a
really
lot of people
understand.
don't recognize the partnership that we had there with
Right.
TrueCoach, and obviously Casey now being CTO over with us at CoachRx. But Casey, did you know the story there about Fitbot and Casey? So
No.
Casey was a client, an RC client,
Mm-hmm.
and back in the day, the coaches were still sending spreadsheets.
Whoa.
And Casey was like, there's got to be a better way. I'm going to build
Yeah.
something. So he basically, through his OPEX remote coaching relationship, built the first prototype of Fitbot. And then James decided to invest. And over time, there was a lot of the handful of RC coaches were contributing, like, here's what the interface should be like. Here's what the program design calendar should be like. And then eventually Fitbot grew and
Mm,
into True Coach and then was bought and sold by, the big financial guys. And Casey parted ways and he was on a non-compete for a long period of time. And then when that was
right.
up, we reached out and we're like, get over here.
So Coach RX is the final form of what was always intended, basically. Like True Coach and Fitbot were like the avenues to eventually grow to what, because I'm sure when you divide it, because True Coach was made for remote coaching and it came from that. And it's interesting how it's like evolved into this, even though it's its own separate thing now. And that was, you know, this working with doing OPEX methodology in True Coach. There's a lot of workarounds I had to do, right? It worked. It was great. I loved it. But Coach RX, if for what we do, I mean, there's like no other option. Why would I do anything else? Yeah.
Yeah. And then you think about like just priorities of obviously they have venture capital
Of
informing
course.
a lot of like who is their target coach? Are they probably targeting more of a personal trainer than like
Yes.
a true integrated lifestyle exercise prescription coach who
Mm-hmm.
wants to do consultations and check-ins? So I'm sure their target changes because you can look at like the feature releases that they focus on. It's definitely things that like we aren't focused on because we're focused on the things we know our coaches want. And of course
Sure.
there's a long like runway of they have a lot of years on us, right?
Yeah.
And building ahead and a big team and a lot of money. So yeah, different phases. But I think where we will go eventually is like, yeah, let's make the perfect software for the coaches that are doing the kind of coaching
Yeah.
that we do.
It's off to a great start.
Awesome. So music. Are you still
Yeah.
involved in music?
Yeah. Music has been an interesting relationship in my life. It's kind of like an abusive relationship. I I found it really young and it took over me. Like that's all I did. Like I was in a band from 14 to 27. Did all the things. Toured, recorded, best times of my life. And I put all of myself into it, all of it. And it's still, even though I have no regrets because I've done everything. It's still never really, it didn't come to fruition like I had hoped or wanted to. And I had to come to terms with like the promise that 18-year-old Kyle made to himself saying, you will always do music. You will make it in this industry. This is the only thing you love. I had to let go of that. It was weird as an adult to be like, oh, if 18-year-old me could see me now, they would be disappointed. Like you're in fitness, like you're like a jock, you know what I mean? But then I had to realize 18-year-old me was looking at a world that he didn't understand. He didn't understand life and bills and like things change and your mind changes. Like how could he? So it's interesting to like come to terms with that. So now I love music. Music is I think I understand music more than I understand anything in this world. Just like from a soul perspective. Um, but I make it now for fun. Like it started in my bedroom when I was 14. It became a job and it became like, am I going to eat? You know, how am I going to pay rent next month? Which again, best times of my life, but that I don't miss those days. I don't miss the hustle. I don't miss the backstabbiness. I don't miss the darkness of that industry at all. And I'm much happier now, which is funny to say. Put it this way, the amount of energy that I put into music paid me back like nothing. The fraction of energy I put into fitness has paid me back tenfold. So why wouldn't I continue to push towards something that I'm passionate about, that I love, that's always been a part of my life, like music has? It's like I had two paths. One wasn't paying, one is still fulfilling. the other one can be fulfilling in a different way now. So yeah,
Oh,
music is
I love
still,
that.
yeah.
Do you end up coaching any musicians being in the Hollywood area?
I do, yeah. A lot of studio dudes, a lot of musicians. My original plan, and it's still there if anyone's hearing this, because I understand music and I love music so much, and I know what touring's like, and I know how much downtime you have, and I know how hard it can be and lonely, and the food is terrible, and like you don't sleep well. It doesn't have to be that way. These people have these touring budgets are, especially on upper echelon tours. They you can budget in a wheelable rack, bench, barbells, medicine balls. You can do that. When you show up to the venue and you have 8 hours before you perform that night and you're just sitting there, like you can work out. You can spend 30 minutes. You can spend an hour working out. You're going to feel better. You're going to perform better on stage. You're going to get less sick. You're going to have more energy. You're going to put on a better show. You're going to make more money. You're going to be able to tour longer. All of these things, your mental health is going to be much better. You can choose your catering. It doesn't have to be chicken tenders. It can be like chicken and broccoli and delicious steak, whatever you want. So those kind of things. I would love to be like, for instance, I would love to program for a band on the road. Like, I don't have to necessarily be there with them. I would if they took me out. But like, I can do fly dates and check in. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I come out for a month and like check how you guys are doing. We work out together, but you still have your program on your
Build
phone.
the systems. Yeah.
Yeah, like I use this all the time. It's kind of like dated now, but you remember Avicii, the who killed him, who died? Um, he I truly think that he would be alive if he had fitness and someone that cared about his health. Like, he was pushed to the brink of exhaustion by his team because they make money when he makes money. But if he just had someone that was like, "Yo, dude,
Take care of
let's
you.
move. Yeah, let's eat." Like, who knows?
And it's crazy that that is not permeated into that culture more because like I kind of could connect it to I watch a lot of MMA and we've had a couple of our coaches in the mix who work with UFC fighters. And it's the same thing where strength and conditioning just isn't a core part of their routine. You know, they're just pushing like the fight modalities all the
Yeah.
time. But you look, I went to, this was last summer, the Morgan Wallen concert. He was on a big tour with a couple of other bands. And it was really cool to see them. They did all their touring at baseball stadiums to see them like in some of that downtime, like running stadiums and like doing
Yeah.
push-ups on the steps. And like a lot of these younger artists, I think, are starting to get it. So I'm like really
Mhm.
surprised that that doesn't become a thing, like
Yeah.
really overhauling the culture of the tour culture.
Yeah, I would, and that's that would be such a full circle moment for me, right? Because it's like now I'm combining my two loves. Even though I'm not the one on stage anymore, I'm side stage, but I'm still involved in it. Like, I'm making these people better so they can be better for the crowd? That would be crazy. Yeah.
I love that idea for you.
Mhm.
We should really work on that. Let's make some content about that and get the word
Yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah.
Amazing. What are you most excited about, like right now that you're working on this, like either, you know, in the next few months this year? What's like on your mind that you're outside of the programs piece?
I think the looming prospect of going back to school and being able to have another offering, um, to my practice where I can with something like that, the price point could be pretty pretty astronomical, which means I can take on less clients, which means I can do deeper work with less of a, I guess, workload. Obviously that's the dream for anyone, of course, but I don't see why that wouldn't be feasible. So that's kind of exciting to look at that. Um, I'm excited about this kind of rebrand of my website and the offering for people that still need help. And that's just my fitness life. In my personal life, I'm really excited to. This is gonna sound sad, but I'm really excited to be alone. I've I've never been alone in my life, which is crazy. I'm 40 years old. I lived with my parents. I moved out with my band. We lived together. We all got roommates. Like, when we split up, I bought a house, had a roommate. I met my, at that time, fiance, and we lived together. And then her and I moved out here to LA and lived together. I've never lived alone as an adult, which I think is wild. And then, not to toot my own horn, but I've always had a girlfriend like in my life. And this is the first time that I've ever actually been alone, and it's fascinating. It's like, whoa, who am I when it's silent? You know, like who am I when there's nothing to talk to or tell about my day? It's like, oh, there's like I'm learning so much about myself, and I feel like that's so necessary for anyone to really dig in there and like, oh, this is me. Oh, I never thought that was me, or I thought that was me. That's actually not me. You have to figure that stuff out, I think, before you can like transcend to the next level of like adulthood and like. I just feel like I feel like I'm going through like a second puberty in a way. It's interesting.
It's cool. What are some
Yeah.
of the tools you're using to evaluate your behavior or get to know you better? Are you journaling? Are you I don't know, are you using any other strategies? Are you actually like
Yeah.
talking to yourself? Are you talking to AI? Like what are your tools?
Right. No, that's a great question. So I journal at the end of every day. I kind of just talk about my day. I'm like, what were my thoughts? What was I thinking? What am I thankful for? You know, sometimes when you're alone, you're so close to yourself. It's nice to zoom out and be like, I may feel like I'm stagnant right now, but if I zoom out and I look at these tiny little baby steps I'm taking, I'm like, oh, I am moving forward. I am okay. This is fine. Like I'm on a rock shooting through space. Does anything actually matter? You know, it's like all those things, all those thoughts. That I've been doing a lot of silent time. Like how often are we silent in today's world? It's like you're either listening to a podcast or you're listening to music in your car or you're on your phone if you're looking at some content. It's like you almost look like an absolute psychopath. And I've done this as an experiment. I'll like go to a coffee shop and while I'll make my order and I'll sit there and I won't be on my phone and I'll just be looking around and everyone's like this. And if people see you just kind of sitting there, it's almost like, what's this
Yeah.
weirdo do? Yeah, it's very interesting to yeah, sitting in silence, meditation. I've been
Isn't
practicing.
it weird how you can be in a situation like that and you're around so many other people, grocery store aisles, which are hard now because you don't even have a checkout person anymore.
Right,
You're
right, right.
checking
Yeah.
yourself out. But even waiting in line for the self checkout, how many people don't even say hello?
No, yeah. Especially here in LA because it's kinda like you don't wanna make eye contact with people because their chances are that they're gonna be insane is very high. Even in the grocery store, you're like, "Oh, here they come. Oh, no." Yeah. So,
Yeah. Maybe a coffee shop safer than the grocery store.
yeah, you would think
Maybe.
so. Yeah, it's yeah, it's so, yeah, I've been journaling, I've been spending time alone and just I've been trying to be bored. Like, when was the last time you're bored, you know? Like, the thoughts that pop up, like, "Oh, I haven't thought about that person since high school. I wonder what they're doing, huh?" You know? Like, all those things. It's silent walks, hikes, trying new things. I am admittedly very rigid and very everything is planned and everything gets executed when it's supposed to, and I get upset when it doesn't go that way. Only child syndrome. I've been kind of just letting life happen and not trying to be so rigid. And if plans get messed up or like whatever, I'm saying yes to things. Like I've been doing some. Like I went to a singles mixer where I didn't know a single person at some like members only club. I wasn't even supposed to be there. I was someone's guest, and I just walked into a room full of strangers that all know each other, and I was like the single one out, and I was like, "Hi," like I would never do that. So I'm just kind of like trying to stretch myself, you know.
Was it actually like a fun social experience? And did you meet anyone that was worth having a conversation with?
I enjoyed the people that I talked to. I didn't know that I was walking into like it's very LA where we were all sitting in circles looking at each other and trying to have a psychic experience through some guided meditation, which I was like, I don't know if this is for me. But those kind of things, like sit with
So
that.
you did it.
Why
You
are you
tried it.
weird about this? Yeah. Like just yeah.
Nuts. Okay. What is the one, two, three, however many pop in your mind, things that you wish you knew or think is important to share with new coaches entering the industry right now? Like what's the helpful advice we can give them?
Yeah. Number one, you already know enough to effectively change someone's life. You don't always have to get the new cert and the new whatever, like kettlebell cert. It's like, you know how to swing a kettlebell. You're fine. Um, little changes make the biggest impact. And if you feel like you're not doing enough, dig into that because you are. Like, you don't need to change someone's program every 4 weeks if it's working. So, like, that's what I mean. Or, like, just getting them to eat more protein. You don't have to dive into macros with them. Just get them to eat more protein, and that is huge. So doing honestly, the whole less is more thing. Stick to your gut. You know what you need to know, and just day by day, make those little changes where you'll know if you're giving someone something and it's not working, just pivot and it's okay. It's okay to pivot. That's there. Every one of your clients is a science experiment, and what works for this person is not going to work for the other. And that's the fun part of like figuring out why and trying something new. So that's number one, is you already know what you need to know, make small changes and trust yourself. The second I would say is make sure that you're doing the things that you're telling people to do. Check yourself often. If you're telling people to drink water and you're not drinking water, you should probably start drinking some water, because just energetically, that's just not, if you're not working out, what are you doing? You know what I mean? It's like, you gonna go get tattoos from someone who doesn't have tattoos? No, you are you need to exude what you do, whatever that is. If you specify in jujitsu, you should probably do jujitsu. If you specify in getting people to do like strength competitions, you should probably do that too. You know what I mean? Or have done it. That whole thing. Practice what you preach, preach what you practice. And third, learn how to listen. That's been hard for me. Um, really listen to what your client is saying, because your job is not to impose your will on them. Your job is to listen to what they want without judgment and give them the easiest path to that goal and empower them. So if they're saying, I don't like this, and you're like, yeah, but you should do that, you have to play a dance of like, okay, oh, you hate doing aerobic work and like running on the treadmill? Awesome. I'm going to trick you into doing aerobic work in a different way because I want you to do it, but I'm going to make it feel like this is your idea and you love this. You'll never get on a treadmill. I don't care. You don't have to run to be healthy, but let's get you to do like some rowing and some heavy like goblet carries. Your heart rate's going to be up. You're not running. Doesn't feel like you're running, but you're doing what I want you to do. You know, that kind of thing. So learn to listen to your client and play in that space of some giving and taking. It doesn't always have to be like, listen to me.
I love those.
Yeah.
Is there an OPEX framework or nugget that has stuck with you the most over the years, that you're like, when you hit a moment where you're like, why do I coach? Or how do I navigate this? Anything that just pops up, like a principle, a framework, a nugget that you're like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
that one just hits home for me.
Every time I open up someone's calendar, I think of, I do it in this order. I open up their calendar. I open up their goals, even though if I can recite them to myself, I look at them and I make sure that that is this cornerstone. Are we moving towards those? Do I feel like we're moving towards those? Is my program moving towards those? Great. Then I open up whatever lifestyle piece that we're working on right now. Is that the thing that is going to be the lowest hanging fruit that's going to get them to that goal? Awesome. Then I open up their exercise and I look, how are they progressing? Do I feel like we're moving towards that goal? So it's like the goal is the cornerstone. Like, how many times have we been really excited for a client to hit a new back squat PR, but they literally could care less because they don't feel good in their skin yet? That's not the goal. The goal, who cares about their back squat PR? Let's get them feeling good in their skin. What is going to make them feel good in their skin? X, Y, and Z. Make sure your programming, your lifestyle is, because that's why they're going to stay. They're not going to stay because of what you think is cool. They're going to stay what they think is cool.
I love
So
that.
always, yeah, from top down.
Yeah, so helpful. Is there anything that you feel like we didn't cover that you think you would want either other coaches or new coaches to hear? Or
Um, I think we talked about a lot. I think the biggest thing, and I saw it like at the summits and even in myself, is the uncertainty of it, and just make sure you're not getting caught up in what everyone else is doing and what you see on Instagram and like all the fancy, sexy things. Like, always go back to principles. Again, Sam said this too: build depth, not width. You don't need to know everything under the sun, but you should know the things you do know and the tools you do know, you should be a master at. There shouldn't be a
Yeah.
single person in your town that can A, B, and C like you with just squat, bench press, and pull. Like, you should know exactly when to give people exactly that, and that's it. You don't need to give them, banded single arm, half kneeling. Like, just have them push, pull, squat, bend, lunge core. And that's it. You got it. Yeah.
Simple. Not
Yeah.
easy, but simple.
Yes. Yes.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I guess I'm assuming you'd want people to connect with you on Instagram. If there's anywhere else, you can shout that out, but I'll link everything in the description.
Yeah. It's Lampi Fitness, Lampi, like lamp with an I at the end of it. Lampi Fitness on everything. Instagram, TikTok, which I'm not updated, but it's there. I mostly focus on Instagram, and then you can find I have my podcast is Fitness is Stupid on Apple, Spotify, all that stuff.
And then before I stop recording, just
Yeah.
because I'm so curious,
Yeah.
did you pick a girl?
I did on today's episode. We called her live in the studio, and I chose the lady for the date.
But this is a date, not a girlfriend, because you said you are enjoying being single right now.
This is Well, not single, like spending alone time is what I meant. Yeah, okay. No, this is we're gonna go on an actual like date out in the wild that's gonna be mic'd and filmed so people can see me in the wild on an actual date.
I love this. What was the thing that made you know it was her over the others?
She's very smart and very witty, and she's very funny. And there is for someone to be witty and funny, that's a sign of intelligence, which is really important to me. You have to be quick thinking, which usually you're a critical thinker if you're a quick thinker. All of those things kind of tell me a lot. Like, you really enjoy life and you can find the humor in things because life is hard. And if you can't laugh, you don't really have much, you know?
Thank you so much, Kyle.
Yeah, thank you. This was fun.